Really excited for tonight. Um, I'm in Florida, so this week is it's right before we're gonna all be going. Well, a lot of us are going to Grant Cardone's show conference this Friday and Saturday night. We are hosting a meetup at the Marriott, um, the Courtyard Marriott in Aventura. So we're really excited about that. We have about 53 people already coming to the event with us. So we anticipate that meetup to be huge, 100 people probably. We're definitely gonna grow out of that space. We got the entire lobby, but we're really excited about that. So that's something that's on my mind. I wanted to share right away. Um, let's see. As we wait for people to hop in, I'll kind of introduce myself, introduce this mastermind. I know a lot of you guys have already been here, have seen it, but I do want to share with the date. The meetup day is Friday night and Saturday night. So for those of you guys that are new, this is an introductory type of mastermind for people that are just getting into investing or wanting to learn a little bit more about multifamily, a little more about branding. We kind of go into all the topics that I've used thus far to build my personal brand and what I've done in multifamily. So my commitment always is to share and bring value to everybody that is here, um, and really to everybody all the time, as much as I can. Anything that I learned, because I pay so much money to be a part of a lot of different masterminds, go to a lot of different conferences. It's kind of like I just go and take information that I learn and the people that I get to surround myself with, and I just want to pass it over to everybody here. Because the more people together in a tribe, the more we can do and the more deals we can take down and the more people we can help, the more impact we can make in people's lives. That is my commitment. That is why this mastermind was created. And, a big part of what I do is really the, the spiritual work behind finances. One of the things that I talked about last week on one of my calls, and I thought it was just really important for me to land now, is to I talk a lot about relationships. It's all about relationships. It's not really about the money. It's not really about the deals, but it's really all about relationships that we build. If we build great relationships in our lives, money will come. Every single one of our problems that we have in our lives comes down to a relationship. It could even be your relationship to money, your relationship to your family, your relationship to coworkers, your relationship to forgiveness, and even your relationship to God or spirit. And so, one of the conversations that I want to introduce, and it's a little bit different than what we normally talk about here, is the way that we have love and the way that we have money. See, there are two things that happen. Okay. Either we believe that everything works like it does in the physical world with the money, or we believe that everything works spiritually, like with love. How love works or how money works is, if I give you money, if I have $5 and I hand you $5, I have five less dollars and you have five more dollars. That's the way the physical world works with dollars, with money. And giving and receiving happens that way. The way the love works is that if I give you love, love grows on both sides. See, that doesn't work. It's not how we have it in the physical world. But see, what we end up doing is we make love like money instead of making money like love. So we go, and when we're in relationship, people, we're giving something, we're giving love, we're giving, a compassion or whatever it is we think we're offering somebody else. We're like, all right, if I give it, now I got a little bit less and you got more. So I'm always waiting for something to be given back to me in return. And so that's the way that we have love. And this is why all of our relationships kind of get messed up, because we're giving something with a string attached to it, and we're giving it like it's money. Like, we give you some, I give you some, I have now less and you have more. So it's not fair. I'm always giving and I'm emptying my own cup. But if you're truly giving, if you have money turn into an energy that is just like how love operates, it means I give you love, love grows on both sides. Imagine that we can operate like that. Sorry, one second. Imagine we can act and give money like it's love, and it actually shows up that way for us. The more we go and be charitable, the more money we have, right? Abundance really comes from that space. Sometimes when people say, man, I don't got enough time, go and do some charity work. Go and take your nephews, go and take your, brother or sister's kids out to the movies or to the park or something. Because all that does is show you that you do have time and you're doing it from a space of love, and the abundance of time starts to show up for you. And it's the same thing with money. And I wanted to introduce that a little bit. It's not something that I normally do on this call. We just really just deal with the physical, the things that are tangible for us. But this is something that is not tangible, and it requires our faith, and it requires a complete shift in our mindset for us to build healthy, loving, abundant relationships in our lives. Okay, so I just want to leave that out there, and whatever comes to you from that conversation and from now to maybe next week or whenever, let this conversation kind of brew and sink in your mind, and see if this is how you do your relationship. Do I act as if everything works like the physical world that we live in now? Or do I live my life like love, like the energy of love? So, just be aware and notice that for yourself this week. Um, that's just my little spiel while we wait for people to hop into the room. So, you guys that are here, awesome. You guys got to hear that. That's how I practice and how I live into abundance every day in my life. And people are like, man, how do you have so much time? How do you do so many things? It's because I live into that all the time. Like, I be abundant, and abundance just keeps showing up. Amazing relationships are built in my life. I'm so thankful every day for you guys who have put your faith in me, who trusted me and deal, who spend your time on this call with me. Like, I think about it all the time. I'm like, wow, like what have I must be doing something right in my life that people are willing to spend an hour and a half every single week on this call. Invest 50,000, 100,000, $500,000 into my deal. Something must be done right. So I want to continue to share this level of gratitude, where it comes from for me, where I do this call from. That's where it comes from. Okay. And tonight, I have a super special guest because everybody has been asking me, how the hell did you grow your Instagram the way you grew it? And people are literally blown away at the speed in which I do everything. And so I've brought somebody to speak on tonight's call who has actually been the key to me having that happen. Well, he supported really the entire growth of my Instagram account. Obviously, you have to put in work. You can't just do he can't do for you something where you're not consistent building your own account. If you don't have any posts, if you don't have anything, then that's on you, right? So you got to create that side of it. You got to build out your content, your brand, things like that. He can help you, but also once you have that going and you mix it and you put this two things together, you're willing to be consistent, and then you have somebody come in and help you with this, man, you can grow so freaking fast. And I want us to get as much of this conversation as possible with him. So I don't want to waste any more time. And I want to introduce Jeremy Bishop on this call. He's the founder of Influencer Club, and man, freaking killed it for me. I can't even believe it. There's been days that I would have over 2,000 people follow me in one day. Like, that's insane. That's probably more than a lot of people's Instagram accounts, period. And it's just been such an amazing journey. Jeremy, why don't you unmute yourself and just introduce yourself and what you do and how we met too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a great day so far. And Alex, I just want to say, what a great way to start the call, man. Sometimes you just need a little reminder because whether it's money or social media, same exact thing. You got to have a good relationship with this stuff, and the give and the take in building a brand is so big. It's not the stock market. Building a brand, it's probably not even as easy, as getting involved in a great deal with you, right? Because it's not immediate. There's no terms and agreements and ROI laid out, when it comes to this whole branding and business and marketing and what you're gonna put in and what you're gonna get back. So I'll just start by saying, when I went out and took a risk and sent you a message on Instagram, okay, and scheduled a call with you and someone I don't know, most of us, we see messages and we're like, man, I don't know who that is. Probably not my target demographic. It's just another follower, or it's just another message that I don't feel like answering today. But I saw that relationship through, and that's something that's really important on social, is like, hey guys, can you see those connections all the way through? And so that's something that I stick to. I've been in this space for about 7 years, and some of the biggest and baddest and greatest relationships, partnerships, mentors, clients have come from connections and simple messages, just like the one that I happen to send you one day. Right. So Alex and I connected. He shared a lot about what he was doing here. I'm actually, getting to see this firsthand, which is super exciting. And it's great to see all you guys here. And I know you guys, like he just said, man, what a blessing to have everybody come together, once a week and bring this type of energy and spend an hour investing in yourself. That's so special. So I'm glad Alex had shared all this stuff with me, and he also shared that he had big goals for his personal brand. Like, he tells me all these things he's doing behind the scenes in real life, and I look at his social and I'm like, man, we got to get this thing correlated so that we can grow it and build it and go impact more people. We have a saying at Influencer Club, which is, hey, we don't want to make bad people more popular. Okay, so it's really important that you have a good message, you have a good mission. But there's 3 things that we want to focus on a big scale. I remember being at one of Grant's boot camps 4 or 5 years ago, and he was asking everybody in the room, can you just give me your 30-second overview of what you do? And he picked on all these random people. And I don't know if you've ever had trouble with that. What is it that you do? Just like 3 bullet points. And you got guys over here like, I can raise 0.3 interest percent, and I can, no. He'd say, sit down. Next guy. I can, next guy. And so finally I stood up in front of a room of like 200-300 people. And I was like, we're going to do 3 things. The first thing is, we're going to work on your content so your page doesn't look like shit. The second thing is, we're going to grow you a massive following so you have credibility, so people actually want to speak with you, do business with you, and exchange information. And number 3, I want to show you how to prospect and target and actually get to those people and build out a database and a system so that Instagram's not just this thing where you're kind of winging it and it becomes a little bit more systematic. For me, I built my business, two businesses in social media, and it was just to solve my own problem. Like every day it's like spinning in the mud, stuck on the content, stuck on like when's something going to happen, losing track of contacts all the time, trying to go back into messages. Imagine meeting Alex in one message, and 3 weeks later, when the time is right, he's nowhere to be found. You lost him in the midst of all this stuff going on every single day. So I wanted to build a system, right? I wanted to have something that could not only I could have fun with and continue to impact people, but I also wanted to have a system so that when it came time for me to go reach out to somebody, I could go back and look at a database, a spreadsheet, and see Alex's name and see the person that I wanted to go speak with and connect with, right? So, guys, building a personal brand, I'm sure you got, I don't even have to tell you how important this is right now. Alex has had some awesome success stories already, and I'm sure you guys could use it for a multitude of different reasons, whether it's real estate, whether it's a side business or another business you have for closing more business, whether it's just getting around bigger players and getting into the right rooms and conversations with people. But this is certainly a time. There's no way to tiptoe around success on social these days. It really like you got to look at a guy like Alex, and it's like I see somebody like that, and I'm like, man, this guy's already built success for himself, and it's like he should have gotten started on this yesterday, right? So yeah, that's I started in entrepreneurship at 19, and I had a little bit of success in this first business, and after 3 or 4 years growing it and a bunch of a few million in sales, all this good stuff, overnight that business stopped. And I looked back and I was like, man, if I could have done one thing more, I would have built up my name and my brand just as much as any product or service or business that I happen to be representing at the time. So that's why I became so passionate about the idea of helping business owners at a high level grow and scale on social media. Because whatever business you're in right now, whatever product or service you might represent, the thing that gets you to show up to a call like this is because Alex on a personal level. You have some sort of real level of connection with him, and that's what happens from actually speaking with one another. That's what happens from genuine relationships, and that's the type of brand that I hope more people are striving and pushing to build. Because that's where some big things will happen on that personal level.
Yeah, and I think it's something that some of the things that you said that just really, helped me reflect on our relationship too, because I get tons of messages every day. Hey, let me help you build this, let me help you build that. And I've been kind of saying yes to different things and isolating it so I can test it like on its own, right? So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of different things. And I remember one of the ways that we chose to grow in the beginning, Nick and I, was to boost the reels of good videos. And yes, it was great, but we put a lot of money into it. It cost us like 24 to 35 cents per follower, right? And I remember you following up with me multiple times. And I was like, and it's not like I don't want to do business with him, but because I just had so many things going on, it wasn't prioritized. And he just like followed up with me multiple times. And this is what he was talking about, not losing track. Because I would say, hey, can you message me back like next week or whenever our campaign's over here for what we're doing? And he would. And so he had this system that was great following up. And I'd say following up all the time, because people that follow up with me 3, 4, 5, 10 times, I usually end up doing business with. The guys that just send me one message and then we just like lose touch forever, I never do business with people like that. So first you caught me that way. And then you told me one thing. You're like, it's great what you're doing in spending 35 cents per follower or something like that. But he's like, imagine you had 100,000 followers. It would cost you a fraction of that to get a follower moving forward.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that makes all the sense in the world. And I put my faith and I trusted what you were doing and what you represented, because actually, you know what? You showed me some pictures, and one of them I remember was you and Grant. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm about. This is the sign right here. So, I went with you, and now we went from like 4,000 to like 33,000 followers on Instagram. Everybody's asking me, dude, how did you grow that fast? And so I wanted to bring you on this call really to give everybody that, opportunity to like meet the person who really helped me get there. And we just had a call recently with the Influencer Club, and it was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
you're just such a badass at this. And I wanted to give everybody this opportunity to ask you some questions, to, you know, to also hear about this brand building, how important it is, because I had somebody on this call, Paula, some of you guys remember, that was one of the most badass Monday night calls we had. She's gonna actually be back next week. But personal branding, like, your brand is your business moving forward. Okay, some people were asking like, oh, should I do it for my business? No, you are your business, your brand. There's nothing more important than building your brand. Doesn't matter what business you're in, what message you want to give out to the world, like, you know, whatever you represent, social media and your brand is something that you needed to start working on like yesterday. And so, yeah, I wanted to really add that urgency in here, because it's one of the biggest accomplishments for me in this last like 4 months. You know, being working with you, I was strictly focused only on Instagram, and just from Instagram alone, the way that I've grown, I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed, um, it has generated $1.2 million in investment. So upfront, like Jeremy said, you may not be able to see an ROI. You can't calculate it. But once you have that brand, you have those followers, you have your system in place, nobody can take that away from you. And it's gonna be there for freaking ever. Okay. They're gonna be able to find your first videos like 10 years later. So this is an investment that it, it, it it's everybody needs to do. I forgot the line that you said, but it's like it's something you can't calculate, but it's like invaluable.
Yeah. There are a lot of intangibles, right?
Yeah.
And so I know we're always looking for the thing that has it all laid out. You know, a lot of people ask me, man, like, well, they say the smart business owner, I call it the smart business owner phrase. If it's not going to get me an ROI, I don't do it. Okay. And, you know, I get it, right? Of course, I'd hope so. You're focused on that. I'd hope you're looking for, you know, the right thing for your business. But here's the thing, guys. Like, I spent years wasting my time on complicated funnels, ads, and just all this stuff. The reels, you know, trying to figure the whole thing out, doing everything, and honestly, it left me burned out. Like, I don't know if anybody here has ever gotten on social media or just has felt burned out, but like, that's a real thing. And I know that you get on Instagram and you see people that are like, just do it 24/7, just do it 24/7. Look, that's not a marathon pace. Okay. And by the way, unless you're Gary Vaynerchuk, or unless you're already at Grant Cardone's level and you can deploy, what, how much did you say, Alex? 400,000 a month in marketing or whatever,
No,
uh,
he's over
or a
he's over
day.
$2 million a month in marketing, but he
Right.
also does over 400,000 a day in
Right. So
sales.
so in when you're at that point and you can deploy that for content creation, editing, and deploy all of these resources, and by the way, be able to, you know, be able to actually waste that money to a degree on marketing. In the beginning, you got to ask yourself, like, and if anybody has questions, I want you to ask me a question, but I also want to know, what would be your goal in building in having a bigger name? What would be your goal in having a powerful brand? So if anybody wants to open up, I would love to chat, but I want to know that goal. You know, is it to raise capital? Is it to close more deals? Is it to find new clients? Is it to just build a community like Alex is building? Like, what's the goal? And if anybody wants to start, feel free.
Yeah, you guys can either unmute yourself or just raise your emoji hand. So Donna, go ahead.
Hey, so I have a Facebook account called the Confident Communicator Coach, and I help people overcome their fear of public speaking. But on the real estate side, I also am trying to build a community of beginner real estate investors. And so I'm a little, in multiple places, but I was wondering if you had any tips for that too.
Yeah. I think my tip would for that would be that going deep on one platform will always serve you more than trying to do 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time. And building a strategy to start chipping away consistently over a long period of time at that goal. Most people don't see like we're talking about, the compound effect starts to kick in if you build a system that you can actually chip away every single day. As an example, what I do and what I have my management team do for myself and our clients is we send targeted conversations, messages every single day from our Instagram, from our LinkedIn account. Okay. And you can do that on Facebook as well. Okay. And it's just like getting on the phone every day and having a conversation and having that schedule. Right. So if you go deep into on one platform and get it to really work for you, okay, that shows you proof of concept, and that is much better than spreading thin on a handful of platforms. I have people come to me and they're like, I need to post on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's like, man, I own a social media company and I don't even want to do that. That sounds terrible. I want to pick 1-2 platforms and I want to see them produce relationships like Alex for me every day. And then I'll turn that into business and turn that into real relationships, connections, build your community and grow through that community. So I hope that helps. But I would say, don't get overwhelmed with trying too many different platforms. Stick to one, get it to work, make it work. If it's not the right platform, okay, you should know that over a certain period of time. Something should work for you, whether it's a system or a platform within 30, 45 days.
So what's
Even
your
if it's-
definition of work? Like, how will I know
Yeah.
it's work?
So again, that's why that first question I had, which is what's everybody's target? Okay. So if you're
Okay.
looking to build the community of the small real estate community,
Mhm.
then I would say that work means within 30, 45 days, you need to bring a new member from your strategy in, right?
Okay.
So figure out what that metric is, guys. Like, is it closing a deal? Okay. Is it hosting a call with people? Is it raising money? Like if Alex sits here and tells me in the past, 30, 60, 90 days, he raised $1 million from the investment that he's made with me, I'm like, yeah, that's a decent, thumbs up, check mark. That's working. And by the way, that could be somebody who sells a course for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Okay, great, great visual that this thing's working, proof of concept. And I know we've got a few others, but also remember, guys, if you've had any proof of concept already, has anybody ever done business with somebody through Instagram, through a message, through LinkedIn, through a message? Okay, I see somebody nodding. I see you, Chris, nodding your head. So that's proof of concept that already happened and worked for you. That's something to pay attention to. But go ahead, guys. I'll let everybody else.
Go ahead, Jack.
All right, well, thank you. I'm really enjoying this information and need it as a little kick in the butt to get moving. I'm branding myself as an ambassador for water, an ambassador to a word, HydroViews, and letting people realize that we have rights, responsibilities, and regulatory procedures that we have to have for our water. Our water is our life. And what we're doing to it as the people right now is scary, dangerous, and affecting our grandchildren's grandchildren. That's the legacy we leave in our water, is the legacy that we leave behind us. So moving forward, what you're telling me, I haven't really pushed myself. I've been building the platform, I'm writing the book, I'm doing well on the book, but now it's time to really push forward. So I'm in LinkedIn, I've got all the messages. It's time to act. I need to hire a crew to help make it happen like you've done with Alex. And I'll quit for now.
Well, I love that. Jack, and I'm happy to speak with you after this. And I'd say the fact that the first thing you started with was to share your mission statement of what you're doing right now. Let me mess you guys up real quick. How easy is it if Alex asks you, what's your mission statement? You guys can tell him probably in 2 sentences like this. But now if I ask you, if I go onto your social media right now, will I even find a video of you speaking about that mission statement clearly, directly to your followers and to your people?
Yes.
Okay, well,
But
I'm
I
glad
have,
glad to hear that, Jack.
I have less than a handful of views on it. I'll post the website. You can see it on the website. I just retired at 70 years old and from a kitchen and bath designer. So learning this information has been my passion. I'm here in this call. I love Alex, but I love my wife Consuelo there, Connie Andrews. And I'm here in real estate to support her, and she's supporting me in this mission. But my mission is I developed probably 20 years ago when I had cancer. And that was that my mission to be a wellspring of facts, concepts, and viewpoints about water. Questing to quench the mind, search for knowledge, the soul's development through harmony, awareness, and truth. And I'll be teaching. You go on my website, you'll learn about the 4th phase of water, and this isn't the place for it, but it's so important. And the discovery is awesome. So which direction should I start to head? I'll talk to you right away. But
yeah, we can talk private. We can talk privately about your specific situation and where to go with that. But again, what I like that you are sharing is your mission statement, and that needs to happen more on everybody's personal brand. The question is, if somebody comes to your profile on any platform, they should be able to quickly and easily figure out who you are and what you do, for them to make that decision. Do I want to speak with this person, connect with this person? And the thing that Alex has done is he's increased his followers. So that helps people make that decision quicker and easier for them. They say, you know what? They see he has a bigger following. By the way, having a bigger following does not make you a better person, guys. Okay. It doesn't mean you become more successful magically. It's actually, to me, it's kind of like, more power, more responsibility. So you need to use it in the right way and go out there and push a good message and go and have that responsibility to go push. I know we have some more hands up, so.
thank you.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yo, what's up, man? Thanks for coming on the call here.
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks so much.
Yep. So coming from a marketer myself, no ego involved. I'm not like that. 2 questions, kind of related, but semi-different. I'm going to ask them for everybody on the call here. If you have 2 different businesses that you're in, like one of them is helping business owners, but then you have another one that's doing real estate, where's the split? I got 2 Instagram accounts. Some of the same content can be relevant on both. Some can't because it's a cross. So what's your clarification question on that? And then secondly, going right into probably what you do, what are the inputs you require? Obviously, you'll probably get in the costs and stuff later. I've already visited your website and seen here, but what are the inputs that you require to give the outputs? And I could probably chat with Alex as well offline because I'm actually in the process of doing this now. I use Upwork a lot, got, probably 400 people working for me on there, video editors and all sorts of stuff. So coming from that background, it may just be easier to have somebody like yourself just do that. It takes the headache out of it as a package.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to work backwards, I know Alex wanted to give everybody, obviously, we'll just call it the freaking Alex special for this entire mastermind. So, I'm just getting the pleasure of meeting all of you guys now, but he has, is giving you guys the love that he's already talked to me about this entire thing. And that's why we're even here. So he's going to share our 100K club, which is the group that Alex is a part of, that would allow you guys to grow the same exact way that Alex is, literally in the same exact plan, service and everything. And so Alex, you can share that in just a minute or 2 and go over the special deal that you want to give everybody. And then your first question was 2 businesses, how to go through with the split. Okay, so I don't want to be the end all answer here as to like what you should do about two businesses and two profiles, but I will say that when you build a personal brand around Chris and you make that the center of the ecosystem and you build up Chris as big as possible, then when people see you and meet you and connect with you, you get to actually bring them through your pipeline, and you can choose which product is best for them, right?
Mhm.
So if they come to an Alex and Alex says, you know what, so and so, hey, you're perfect for this deal, or you know what, somebody comes to him and says, I need branding advice, and he says, you're perfect for this situation. You know, somebody goes to a Grant Cardone, he's the perfect example. In one day, you watch him talk about real estate deals, you'll talk about business owner sales, etc. He'll talk about marketing, branding, etc. Talk about how to improve your family, your relationship, etc. Right? All that is centers around one person. So I would say, no matter how many businesses and pages you have, the main talk about tonight is about you, Chris, specifically growing you, so you can show off all of that.
Deal. And it's interesting because growing many brands as a company, now it's like, put myself last, but I guess save the best for last. So it's a little bit different branding, getting the personal brand out there. So we'll see. We'll work together, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and you
dude.
know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Gary Vee. Gary Vee started and he was just talking about wine, all the different types of wine. That's what he did. And now, like, you don't even know that Gary Vee's about wine, right? So he built the whole entire brand around himself. And then as he got bigger, now he can do all different sorts of things.
It's like where people
Yeah, so-
see you when they meet you. That's what they see you as.
yeah. I mean, Grant Cardone was only in sales before. He was only teaching people how to sell. That is it. It's still a big part of his conversation, but dude, now he's got 10x Health. Now he's got, Business 360. He's got all sorts of stuff. Everything that you can think of. A 10x Stages about, using people's stages, having your speech, your mission statement, all of that in 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever. It's now encompassing all sorts of stuff, and it's still Grant Cardone, and now he's just, anything he touches gets that much bigger because his name, his personal brand is there. And now everyone knows him as the 10X guy. So
Yeah, it's not one or the other. He
Yeah.
decided that early on, and I think that's the answer to Chris's question is it's not one or the other, guys. Things you're going to grow and add to your resume and to your toolbox so much over the years, and that personal brand's still going to be, your name's not, well, I mean, it could change, but your name and your personal brand's going to be the one thing that stays consistent throughout the next 10, 20 years.
yeah. All right, Svetlo, go ahead, brother.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, John. Great to have you here. So my motto basically is to help as many people as humanly possible for them to develop their kung fu in everything they do in their life. So this is basically part of my martial arts experience. Kung fu means to be the best you can be in everything you do. So with that said, I'm not I'm not a social media person, basically. I haven't been doing it for a long time. So how do we start? Can we hire you to help us develop, because it's so important, that area? And the way I see myself is probably just to share life experiences. For right now, the way I see myself is like, hey, today we had this, Monday night phone call, and I share with people. Such a great experience. For example, you were here on the phone call, and you share your experience about social media. Then you read a book, and you share that. You had a great workout at the gym. But then later on, you can cater more towards multifamily or anything maybe more specific. But that's how I see myself. I don't know if this is probably wise, maybe too scattered, but just I want to pick up your brain, your thoughts.
Yeah, that's great. You actually said something really important there, which is, I mean, amongst sharing your life and sharing all the things that happen, because by the way, No one cares about your business enough that they want to hear about it 24/7, 7 days a week. They also want to hear about who you are, your friends, family. You have a cat or a dog? Do you like to go on hikes? Are you a surfer? Are you a golfer? Okay, all that stuff is important because those are the things that connect us on a phone call before I decide to hand Alex, $100,000 for a deal, you know? So once so that's important. And the second thing that you said was, sharing this call right now. I know we're always trying to wait for the perfect moment and the perfect thing to share on social media. You guys are on a call with 61 other people right now on a Monday night investing in yourselves. I already made a post and tagged Alex right when we started the call, and I posted that on my Instagram, right? So absolutely, the things you're involved in are the moments to grab quick photos or grab a quick video. It doesn't mean to take away from being present, but certainly use what you guys are investing in. That's a part of getting a bigger ROI for the things that you're involved in. Absolutely. How can you take that and make that a part of your brand? And then of course we'll be able to talk about here in a moment, Alex, whenever you want, we can talk about the deal and everybody, if anybody chooses to want to work together and go from there. But hope that helps, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, like really quick bit, like with Ben, I just want to show quick gratitude. I felt like I wanted to share that he helped me out. We underwrite like 2 deals. He gave me homework, so I made a mistake, so I'm gonna follow through with that. But I'm excited because now I'm connecting with people. Then I'm looking forward to my phone call with Steph tomorrow that I missed last week. Because speaking of, I was actually in a miracle. It's called Miracle Hot Springs in Boho in Idaho. So I felt like I'm sharing with my friends those experiences. Actually sharing with Alex, like I eat all the time, like different experience. So why not to just put it there, just brief, just a quick picture, just basically small little experiences with people that technically, basically we're just humans. And I love life and I enjoy life. And I'm just a happy camper. So that's just me. So I want to thank you. Thank you for being here. So, and I would like to follow up. I mean, any help, if you need to invest money, just let me know. Maybe after the phone call, Alex, please let me know. I'm definitely interested so I can start getting it done. Because lastly, I reached out to a lender. He asked me for my email. So when people that connect with me, so here's my connection. This is what I do. I don't have that. So I need to develop that. So when they ask me for my internet business card, it's like, this is who I am. I can write my motto. So I would like to get better prepared when I reach out to people. And so I can be more professional. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Also on that note, I do want to say that, with my Instagram being like bigger than it was a couple of months ago, it actually gives me confidence too. When I meet people, I'm like, yeah, here, follow me on Instagram. I'm actually like proud of, hey, you're going to get to see my Instagram. This confidence thing is a big thing in business as well. Otherwise, if you have like 200 followers, you know what I always hear? Oh, like I'm not really into my social media, but here, follow it. I'm like, that's not very attractive. You don't really attract the right energy around you if you speak like that about your own social media. It's a reflection of you, right? What you want to get out there. So before we get to the next person, I'm just gonna give you guys the rundown of the deal that I made with Jeremy for you guys. Is it's normally a $5,000 package, which is, I think it's super cheap for the 100K club. He's gonna do it for $4,000 for you guys, $1,000 off. So before while you guys are on this call, continue to really marinate on how like this is a deal of a lifetime, okay? And it's coming towards the end of the year. He's kind of closing out, and he said on his last call that like he's not really taking that many more clients for the end of the year. So if you want in, this $1,000 discount's good till like next Sunday or something like that. That's coming up Sunday. So I'll also be putting it in the email address in the follow-up email, but Jeremy, if you want to put your contact info in the chat right now, how people can contact you, that way, you know, I'm sure a lot of this is the topic. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of people messaging you for sure. So I'll tell you guys right now, besides my Remarkable notebook, this is probably the best investment that I've made this year. Okay, my Remarkable, everybody should get a Remarkable. Nick, don't I get like some kind of affiliate if people use my code to buy Remarkable? I think like 20 people has bought Remarkable because of me, and I haven't. I should be definitely be getting some sort of some commission from Remarkable.
I'll send mine back and purchase it again through your link.
Okay, I don't know. I think it's like $40 each. I'm not that concerned about it. But we should eventually, if we become bigger, Nick, you know, we need to have these things in place. Remarkable is a notebook that I take all my notes on, which looks like this. And it's like paper, really. You know, now I'm advertising Remarkable. But I just wanted to give you guys, and it writes like paper. All my notebooks are now consolidated into one. So if you're like me, had like 20 different notebooks, you know, this thing's a life changer. Like all my notebooks, you know, I would get like an awesome 10x notebook. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write in here. Then I'm like, but I can't find anything. So I'm like, okay, well, people, how much people are gonna invest? Let me start from the back of the notebook. So I got notebook coming from the back to the middle and the front to the middle, and then I can't find anything. So Remarkable, trust me, it's life changing. All right, so yeah, that's the offer. He's got some other things that he also does, but you know, I'm still working it. I'm gonna be, before I, you know, I obviously give a stamp of approval for Jeremy and his company, but you know, I still have other services that I'm gonna be hiring him to do for me, and I won't speak about those things, but yeah, lots of other stuff. So yeah, Andrew, go ahead. Oh wait, yeah. First, Andrea with the lion, the tiger.
Andrea or Tiger.
Andrea.
So I wanted to know, social media is my total Achilles heel. I do really good for about a day. I post everywhere and I'm like, yes, I posted, and maybe even 2 days, and then I don't do it anymore. But one of the things I like to do, little videos like TikTok. I've actually done better on TikTok than anything else, but I wanted to know what app people use to put the words on TikTok, because I know it'll allow me to do, it has closed captioning, but the words are all little. And when I see other people's TikToks, you know, it's all in nice, big, legible fonts. And I was wondering if anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, rather than trying to put each one, because TikTok is not that friendly to try to put stuff on. So I was wondering about that. And then I was also wondering on how important hashtags are, how to figure out what hashtags to use if they are that important, and how to use them. Because what I end up doing is I'm like, I was on a hashtag Alex Lovely's call today, on hashtag Zoom meetings, on hashtag Monday night. I don't really know how to use hashtags. So those are my questions.
Okay, so first thing, so there's a lot to unpack. By the way, guys, like this is just another example as to why it's important to take a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot of time to get some of this stuff figured out. And I don't even mean the technicality behind it. Okay, I'm talking about the relationship we have with this stuff. You know, because until we get it right, it's always it's my Achilles heel. Everybody says that in one form or another. Okay. I meet people that are 25, 20 years old and 80 years old, and everybody says the same thing. I'm not a social media person, right? So I think that that's important to note is Alex brought up Gary Vaynerchuk. If everybody's familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk, okay, when you look at his videos when he was first getting on YouTube and putting out the wine, this dude, his videos look terrible, and he's just sipping wine and spitting it into a bucket, and they're not curated, they're not edited, and so, but what's beautiful about that is he doesn't delete those. He doesn't say that never happened, here I am today. He says all of this stuff is what has gotten me to this point now, where my brand is a little better and my image is better and my quality content's better. Okay, so I just want to say, because when you come on to Influencer Club, our strategy is a lot different, because everybody comes on with those questions. Hey, how often should I post? Where should I post? Who should I post? What's the caption? What's the hashtag? What's all of this stuff? And it's like, none of that matters if you're not going to do it tomorrow, if you're only going to do it one day and then be burned out, right? So I want everybody to take away like marathon pace as an example. In that deal that Alex, that everybody is getting through Alex, that's 6 months of our time together. Okay. Let alone the fact that we're going to grow you a massive following and you're going to be in the 100K club. We're going to make a presentation for you. We have our 100K, our Influencer Club calls. Alex is on there. You guys can be a part of that, and vice versa. I would love for you guys being sharing your stories, things, but you're going to grow for 6 months to having these types of conversations. What is my brand? That's the most important thing. And if I'm going to be here for the next 6, 12, 1 to 2 to 3 years, which by the way, I hope that that's the goal. When we think about it like that, we're not worried about one post every single day. Instead, we can start thinking about what's your marathon pace going to be over the next 6, 12 plus months. And to be honest, that might be once a week. Okay. So is it Andrea?
Yes.
Okay. So Andrea, look, I have a social media company. I do not post every single day. I know that might be crazy. Okay. But here's why, and here's why it's important. I built myself a brand, and someone was talking about their business card. I built myself a brand. I've built myself content over many, many years. And so on the back end, when I'm prospecting, when I'm continuing to do business and I'm continuing to do my thing and build business in real life and have phone calls, that never stops. So just because I don't post a phone call, or excuse me, just because I don't post a video today, doesn't mean that my brand doesn't still do its job. Doesn't mean that it still doesn't make an impact today. On the back end in real life, when people ask me, how do I get more comments? I say, well, how many new friends have you made today? Because when you make new friends, they tend to comment on your photos more. You ever notice that? So somebody says, man, like this stuff is not magic. People say, how do I get more engagement? I'm like, how many people have you spoken to today? When's the last time you came onto a call like this and said, hey, everybody, and asked a question? Even if you're scared, you asked a question. Now I remember Andrea's face. I remember your question. I remember what you asked and what your goal and what you're working on. So if you go and give me a follow on Instagram, I'm going to remember you, right? So that's how these things happen. They happen because we're like the hashtags. Yes. Are they important? Sure. I know that's not the answer you guys want, but sure. They're important. Throw some hashtags on there. But is it more important than the relationships that we've got to have, than the connections, than the engagement when we're on social? Having a proper intention and a goal set, not just getting on there every day and scrolling around for 10 minutes. So I hope that gives a little more direction. The content and the marathon pace, I want us to think about 12 months, and you're not going to have that plan, set and ready overnight. But the whole point is, Alex just talked about confidence. Okay. So I'll stop. I don't want to take too much time here, but Alex talked about confidence with the brand. That's the most important thing. All the little details will figure themselves out later.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, now Andrea.
Thank you. Our mission is to provide financial freedom for ourselves, our family, and our friends, and share this wonderful multifamily thing with all of our colleagues. And our brand has been technology. So we've got to shift from technology to real estate. And we'll work through that. My question builds off Chris's question, which is, what do you do if you have another job? And maybe in that job, you have a reputation for something, and this is totally different, or you're supposed to be working that other job and they see you posting, doing other things, or very worst case, you work for one of the large corporations that monitor your social media.
Okay, well, another big one to unpack. That's a
You can
great
just pick,
question.
you can just pick one of them. I don't need to just
No,
pick
no,
one.
no. I love this. So, okay, I hear it from people a lot, and I'd say the first thing is it's more nervousness and fear than it is exact. Meaning, you may be in an industry that there are some requirements around your social media, and I don't know what those are, and I know that many of those industries can be more strict than others. But I would say, after so many years of social media becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, it is a part of everyone's business. I can't think of a situation where someone's not on it to some degree and involved in it, whether it's that company that you work for, in the corporate world, etc. I always say that if at the very least, if we want to talk in legal terms here, I always say to everyone, at very least, no one should be able to ever stop you from building a personal brand. Okay. So it's scary to me if there's a situation where you're not allowed to build your name on social media as your own person. Maybe you don't represent products and services on the front end. Okay. Maybe you can't represent certain businesses because of restrictions, but no one should ever stop you from building a personal brand. You catch my drift? Meaning, whatever happens yeah.
Delta fired someone for a post, and Emory just fired nurses for their post. So it is real. It's not fear. You can get fired. I hear you that it's a personal brand, but what you sign a contract with the company that says whatever you post is a reflection of ours, and we can fire you for it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What I mean is, I see that it stops a lot of people from figuring out what they need to do in order for them to be able to work the system and use it. I understand, of course, if you go out and post some picture of you doing something ridiculous and you're representing a company, of course, game over. And you should also be thinking, I'm sorry, I was also thinking, you're representing yourself as a company or something as professional as Delta or as any other, right? So there's definitely a lot of specifics there. I probably, we could go down that rabbit hole for a while, but your first question was, you're working a job.
You're supposed to be working, and say your manager is friends with you on Facebook and then sees you doing all this real estate stuff. How do you manage that? It's the dual life kind of that Chris was asking about.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be somebody else better to answer that question. I don't think I would handle that very well. I didn't handle that very well when I quit. When I left my job, many years ago, because I asked to go to my friend's wedding and they told me I couldn't, so I left, and then I just never came back, right? And I'm glad, but no, I mean, you just have to figure out like what that means to you. If a company knows that you have something automated and you have a system in place and things are doing it and you're working, I'm not really sure how much say they have and things like that. I'd love to talk to you outside of here. That might be a better place for that combo, because there's a lot to unpack there, but but I think your side hustle should never be stopped by the big company, and unfortunately it is, like you said, but that's just my opinion.
Next week Hall is going to be on this call, and she actually answered this question last time she was on too. And in the beginning, there's a lot of hate, managers, things like that, hating on your growing of your social media. Then she grew it so big that she had more followers than the company. And they actually valued her more after that. everybody started going to her for these things. And now she became such a valuable asset in the company because her following grew. But in the beginning, there was management and there were peers, co-workers that was hating on her. And she grew it bigger than the CEO's profile. And they really valued her after that. So we'll ask her that question next week. It's a great story. She'll tell it. But okay, let me see the time. Okay, we'll probably answer a couple more questions. Barbara, go ahead.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate it. And, first, to all of the ladies in the room, always nice to see the faces, Connie here all the time, Andrea, Tiger Lady as well. So excited to see you here. Great questions. I think my big question would be, and again, also thank you, Chris, about the dual part when you have, the business and also how you do brand yourself. I have 4 VAs working. I think one of the big challenges, under the umbrella doing marketing for us in all of the different facets. I think one of the biggest challenges a lot of us have is the prioritization, right? Be there, do this, be there, do that, right? Increase this, increase the followers. At the end, I think my question is, right now, based on growing relationship, for me, it is really more on engagement and on, yes, increase your following, but also engagement. What, is 1 or 2 of your core metric? Because honestly, social media does not give you the core metric who's really measuring the success, which means you have to create your own spreadsheet and Excel manually to get through that. And it is tiresome, right? I cannot connect and check on all of the comments made and the engagement done. So what's your suggestion?
Yeah, that's a great question, Barbara. And that's really what in Influencer Club and our company, that's what myself and my team wanted to create over these many years is, how to create a system where we can focus on the metric that we know to be true, not what the platform will show you. Because when you look at your views on a video, you might have 10,000 views on a video, and then you notice that you can't actually view who those people are. And so then you can't even go one layer deeper in communicating with those individuals. And the platform wants you to feel good about your viewership. But if I don't meet a Barbara because of my post, message or my page, right? So how I look at my metric is how many people, how many new connections every month. By connections, I mean phone numbers and emails that were given to me by people I spoke with. That's my first metric. That's always most important. I want to meet more people so I can impact more people, so I can do more business. Because one connection, by the way, at face value, doesn't have a dollar next to it. It doesn't have a value next to it. One connection was just a phone call with Alex. And then that was another phone call, and then another video call. And then 2 months later, here he is present, and he kindly shares me, and I have the honor of speaking in front of 60 of you, right? So think about how that process might work in your own business. That's what we're going to talk about over the next 6 months in Influencer Club, and I'm sure a lot of the things that you guys share and talk about here as well. So the metric is connections, phone numbers, emails, individuals. Okay, and by the way, in the plan that Alex had shared with you guys for the deal, we actually have created those spreadsheets. And so you get the PDFs, you get the documents, and you actually get literally a link that just populates you a spreadsheet that our team has used for years to gather phone numbers and emails and connections once we have conversations through social media. So a lot of that stuff has already been taken care of. By the way, I'm a huge fan of investing in somebody else's expertise, someone who's spent 5-10 years learning about how to do deals in real estate. I'm going to give them my money. I'm going to show up. I think that's why you guys are all here learning and growing together. So I love being that team that people can confidently rely on, work on, and have our team take care of all that crap, so you don't have to think about it all day, and so you can do what you do best, and move past all the nitty gritty stuff. So, yeah, those systems are difficult. They're a pain in the butt, but once you have them created, that's why we want to be able to implement that for more
Love it,
people.
because I think that is, with the ever-changing landscape of how things and the algorithm are changing, it is becoming very cumbersome. So thank you, love that. So that is very valuable. If you have that in place, that's, this is great. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you,
absolutely.
Barbara. All right, we're gonna take just a couple more questions. Jonathan, go ahead, brother.
Hey Alex, how are you?
Good,
Hey
man.
guys, so excited to see you next week. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, just a simple question. So if I decide to be part of this 100K club, so what are you guys like offering me as if I'm coming part of the club? Like exactly what are you guys offering? Like it's like a coaching call, just a course, or like I just want to be clear in that part.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be clear for everyone. The 100K Club includes 3 different things. The first thing is, yes, it includes monthly coaching calls. Okay. And that's number 1 is the group coaching calls. We're talking about brand and business development, social media strategy correlated to your business, relationship development through social media. Okay. And scaling and growing your brand. Okay. Those calls are extremely important. The 100K Club also includes on your Instagram over 6 months, we're going to grow you to 100,000 followers on your Instagram, guaranteed. Okay. That might sound like a big number for some of you. I understand. It is a massive achievement, and it will set you up backed by data. This is not my opinion. This is what we've gathered over 4 or 5 years. Okay, more people want to speak with you, connect with you, do business with you, and give you their information when they see that you have 100,000 plus followers on social media, on Instagram. Okay, so that's the second thing is you're going to get to the 100K Club. You're going to grow a massive following. Third thing is, of course, scaling your engagement, growing your engagement, your views, your likes on all of your content. Okay, and last but not least is, yes, you do get a ton of tools and resources. So just to give you an idea, guys, myself and my partner, Stephanie, over the past 5 years, we have a parent company that we do a lot of big management, full 360 management for a lot of our bigger clients. We've taken all of this info and we've packaged it in our PDF files, our documents, visuals, spreadsheets, as we were just talking about with Barbara. And we've got everything together so that our guys can actually go and implement this stuff in-house, do it themselves, and learn what it actually means to have a system strategy and get hands-on with it. So those are the things that are involved in this package: the growth of your brand, the growth of course, your knowledge, investment in yourself, coaching, okay, the growth of your post engagement, your network, and all the resources and tools that you're going to need to be able to take this system and go forevermore. You end up wanting to hire a team and a management team. We can talk about that later. I'm sure Alex we'll put together another solution down the road. We can figure something out, but in the beginning, it's a perfect place to start. And it's the same exact place. And I love this. It's the same exact place that Alex started with us together. And he's already had some really special things happen because of that. So I think that that's a beautiful way to have everybody get on the same wave that he's on.
Yeah, it's definitely worth that. Think about it. If I went on my own and me and Nick were just doing this on ourselves, it would have cost $30,000, at that rate to get to 100,000 followers. And so this is just the best money that I've spent. And, I'm super proud of my Instagram and how much work I put into it. So every time I share with somebody, I'm like really excited for somebody to follow my Instagram. And as soon as they follow it, they're like, holy crap. They're like, how did you do all you're doing here? Like all these questions come net. So like, think about that type of relationship that you can build with every single person you meet, especially if you're one of those like me that goes to a lot of conferences. This is how you build, you really, really build that way. So
Alex,
yeah, go ahead.
I just
Uh-huh.
want to make sure, because I'm trying to keep up with questions and everybody in the chat here. There's a calendar link there in the chat. If you haven't already booked a call, if you want to have a one-on-one call, or if you want to send me a private message, and then the website's below. Make sure do not go through the website and try and purchase the 100K Club plan. It is $5,000 on the website. We want to give you $1,000 off if anybody wants to join. Make sure you do that through Alex. I can facilitate that through him, or if you send me a private message, we can make sure everybody gets set up. But don't do it through the website, okay? Just want to make sure
Yeah,
that everybody.
just go message him directly, and you guys set up the calls with him, ask all your questions with him. I don't need to get involved in the middle of all that.
Okay,
I got enough
yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Connie, go ahead. You ask your question, and then quickly oh man, I want to get to our breakout room still. So let's try to do these questions quick and then see if you can answer these questions quickly too. Go ahead, Connie.
Right, hoping my microphone's working. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jackie. Mine is more of I think like a comment, an observation, and why I have decided to do what I'm doing this year. And I believe that there is a space for someone like me, who is, and I've said this before, because who is a lot older than most of you. And I keep bringing that up because I believe that there's a lot of people that are my age that don't think they have the ability to do this, that social media is like way over their heads, that they're too old to do it, that this is for somebody younger to do it. I see W shaking his head. You're not even that old, W. So, but I'll tell you what, I feel I'm almost like choking up with happy tears because I think that this is wonderful, and I want to thank you, Jeremy. So I want to give you a story. So 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember the person's name. I have it in my spiral notebook. I don't have a thing like Alex has yet. Somebody challenged me to do Instagram. I'm not afraid of getting in front of the camera because that's something I'm not afraid of getting in front of people. It's something that I've done all my life at work. But it was a challenge in any case. So I've been doing it, and I haven't been doing it daily, but I've been doing it probably every other day, just posting just what comes up. And I have been doing it from work. What I did before I did that, and I don't know if this will help you, I don't work for a big corporation. I work for Century 21, but it's family owned, so it's a little different. It's independently owned. I did talk to my broker, and I did tell him what I was doing so that he doesn't think that I'm cheating behind his back, so to speak. All right. And I mean, if I post, I'm doing it during lunchtime. I deserve an hour. I mean, nobody can tell me what to post, what not to post. I'll even post with a Century 21 picture behind me because I'm really proud of the brand. But I'm also posting about what I'm doing on Alex's mastermind group, or what came up. Maybe tonight I'm going to post about how excited I was. One of the posts I was just showing Jack before got over 1,000 views. And I don't even really understand how that happened. But if that is going to help me create a following, I almost want to replicate myself with what Alex is doing, but in the female sense of doing it, in a female way of doing it, and at my age of doing it, because I know that there's a lot of grandmothers out there that need to be doing this. Like, get off your seat, get on your feet, get out to the street. You can do this and make money and stop complaining about Social Security.
And I got your back. I love you.
Well, I'm not sure if there was a specific question in there more than there
It was only
was.
of a comment.
Yeah, I love it though. I think I think that what you're talking about doing, first off, following someone, okay, guys, like following in Alex's footsteps, there's something special about emulating and following in somebody's footsteps who's doing something that you like. You know, so everybody's trying to come up with something new over here, left, right. Some of my biggest guys in their space, in their entrepreneurial space, they follow like to a T what their mentor is doing. And I'll tell you what, they ride the same wave that their mentor has created or at one point was doing the same thing. You know, so in the beginning, guys, if you don't know how to be yourself on social media, you're right. You should pick a few, 1, 2, 3 people and go ahead and emulate and get and have those conversations, whether it's Alex, whether it's myself, whether it's somebody else in this group, and get on that page with them. That'll get you fired up.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, sometimes what I'll do, and me and Nick say this and we say it to our clients too, is like, if you run out of content, just watch someone's video and just really repurpose that, make it your own. You know, like I've seen some of Grant's videos where he's like talking about, I'm like, wow, that was great. And I'll just take it and I'll just make my own video with it. You know, so it's not really that complicated, especially if you are already spending some time on social media, like just direct it in the right place, you know, to have social media serve you rather than having it have you, right? A lot of people get caught up and dislike social media because they get so caught up in it, but let it serve you. So yeah, thank you, Connie. W, and then Heather, and then that's it. And then we're gonna do our breakout room session.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah.
All right, better?
Yes.
All right, so
W.
thank you so much. So basically, I have a quick comment and a question for Jeremy. For Connie, thank you. I love you. I just recently became a grandpa, so just the same. But we all have to remember that most of these platforms did not exist just 10 years ago. And Jeremy's right. There's a lot of young folks that I have met personally who do not know anything about this space, and they don't know how to do these things. So it's not just older folks compared to the rest of the crowd here. But I do have a question, Jeremy, and I think it's important to me at least, and maybe to somebody else. But I think a lot of us get too hung up on the metrics side of it, and forget to just be ourselves and be human and be relatable. And in my humble opinion, and I don't know how to measure, like Barbara was saying, I have no idea how to measure these things. But I think I recently started to record some videos, just talking about underwriting and some of the things that I'm learning and finding out, and posting them in all the social medias. But I haven't been looking into the engagement. So I don't know if people are responding because I'm not spending time figuring that out. But I guess that is the next thing that I need to do, other than just being me, and then start having, like you said, conversations. So I think tell me if I'm thinking wrong. It's just as long as we focus on just being ourselves and posting something that is relatable, and then maybe having a little chat or conversation or responding to some of the messages, that has a longer or a bigger impact than just worrying about the numbers and how to track them. I mean, not that they're not important, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think I think there's two things. First is, if you can disconnect from playing the small game. You see, the problem is not the specifics and learning the platform and being an expert at all these things. I am not an expert. Okay, I have experts on my team. Okay, I've grown with experts so that I can do big things and get past the little thinking around. Man, it reminds me of, I bet the combo you guys have a lot when it comes to how many properties and how many doors and how big to go with the deal and not do the small deal and go for the bigger deal because it's gonna. So it's the same thing. So if you can go, the reason we're talking about 100, why would Alex put you guys in a place to grow 100,000 followers if he didn't know that was something that would benefit you? Because two things happen. You get over playing small. I want to tell you, the biggest thing that kills me every day is when I talk to somebody and they say, Jeremy, I just want to grow slow and over time, and one day I'll get there. And what happens is you get stuck on all the wrong things. If you were just at 100K and you've built a brand, now you can focus on the next piece, which, yes, you're right, is communication, responses, connections, and people, and getting back to that and building out that system. So you got to think big, get past all the little stuff. And that's, of course, what having a team will do for you. And all the superstars you see on social media that have a big brand, don't think for 1 second that they don't have a big team behind them doing the exact same thing, helping them go big so they can do what they do best, whether that's your videos, your message, or speaking with people and providing more to the marketplace.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Grant is a perfect example because he does a lot of his own stuff, but there's a whole team that is always doing cutting and pasting and repurposing. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, Jeremy, just one quick question too from Chris too. He's saying that none of these are paid views, shares, etc. The actual engagement from. So how are you growing? What kind of followers can they be expecting? Yeah, I remember I asked this question, so it's great.
No, it's important. So over the past 5 years, myself and my partner Stephanie, we have spent many years building relationships with influencers. Okay, and by our definition, these influencers are individuals that have anywhere from 1 million to 12 million followers at a time. Okay, and they're in many different spaces, many different industries. And by the way, they're from all over the world. Like, I'm talking about the guy in Europe, the European TV star with 7 million followers and he's verified, all the way to the Brazilian model, philanthropist, entrepreneur with 12 million followers, right? So our influencers span the gamut. And to be clear, what we're doing in this 6-month program is we're growing volume for credibility. And then you guys are going to learn about the specifics in building that system we were talking about. That's going to be highly, highly targeted. Okay, so we want to hit both. That's how we're going to grow our following. On a volume scale, you will never grow 100,000 followers with people in your local area. Okay, unfortunately, that would be magic. Okay, but we can grow a massive following so that then when we go send a message to, as an example, one of my guys just had an awesome testimonial the other day. He sent a message to Elena Cardone. She answered him, connected with him, and exchanged her phone number with him so that he could connect and go do some real estate and connections. He ends up meeting her in person, all this cool stuff. So that's because he had a massive following on the front end, and then we send targeted messages to the right people on the back end. So you're going to grow the following in both ways, but this is going to happen through big influencer campaigns.
Yeah, go ahead, Heather.
My question is along the lines of my Instagram account. I've had it for a few years and I've been taking pictures of dogs, a few of dogs. I have maybe 12 pictures up there. A fishing trip I took with my daughter where she caught a sturgeon. This painting I have behind me is my first oil painting. And that's kind of my journey. I'm wondering if I can take a picture of this mastermind video class and say, I'm in a mastermind class with Alex Lovely. This is my first something about being into real estate. And then is that how I just grow it like that? Kind of change it from a personal one to a business one and maybe put in a few pictures of the personal life as well as the real estate life and then move along from that? Or do I have to take down my Instagram and start all over?
No, you can absolutely mix what you're doing on both facets, and over time collect more photos of the business and the mastermind. I'm not sure if you're going into any of the physical events, but if you end up going to any of the events in person, you get pictures with people you're with. Use all of the things that you are a part of as a way to gather more content for your page. Once you post that up, those things are there forever, and you can mix your personal life with the business.
Yeah. I think what you said earlier said use what you are involved in and make it a part of your brand. So you are your brand. The pictures of the dogs, that's part of it too. People get to know you, not just the real estate side of you. Awesome. Okay, so that's it for the questions. I do want to give everybody a chance to network and meet each other and have some connections just from being on this call. It's a really, really powerful part of the call. And I knew that we were going to go deep into this conversation. I wanted to get it started earlier, but you know, questions still kept going. And you know, that's why I know social media, personal brand building, huge topic. And if we have more time, we would definitely keep going. But I want to respect Jeremy's time and thank you for being here and thank you for the offer that you're giving to the people on this call. Appreciate everything, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate it. And guys, all of your questions, super important and very fun to answer. I know that everybody has 100 different questions, and I hope everybody kind of helped answer one another's. And I hope some of these answers were gave you some direction, you know, in a space that's like wild, wild west sometimes. Okay. But I would say the most important thing that I would take away is if I were on this call, Alex is someone to follow and listen to. That's why you guys are here. I'm happy, blessed to have met him. Okay. And back to that first thing you said, Alex, before I let you go, but is that relationship that you have, you know, whether it's between you and money, the same way it is between you and love, the same way that it is between you and social media, and that there's somebody else on the other side of every message and every post, you know, that's looking for a little love too, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what we're looking to do here today. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And everybody's got his contact info. If you missed it, I'm going to be sending that out, follow up in an email for everybody. But don't worry. Definitely schedule calls with him. Get it in there while you can. Because, you know, if you don't schedule it quick enough, you might be waiting a month before you get to talk to him. So thank you for opening your schedule up to the people in this group. Appreciate it, brother. And
Absolutely.
Nick, if you want to, so everybody else here, you know, go into your breakout rooms and get in, just chat with each other about what you're challenged on and how you guys can support each other. I remember it was in one of these groups that Connie decided that she was going to post a video every day. No accidents who you're going to run into in here. Embrace it. We'll do probably 1 or 2 of these breakout rooms. You'll have 10 minutes and yeah. Nick, send them away.
They're open.
Masha.
Everyone go.
Oh man, you're on fire, bro. I knew it was gonna be a sick call.
Hey, brother, that was awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
appreciate
then-
you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, next week we got Hala. She's gonna be coming on. She's like a monster in the podcast LinkedIn world. So it'll be cool if you hop on and check her out too. Connect with her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right, cool. Well, brother, I'm gonna it's like 1:30 a.m. here over in Europe. So I'm gonna hop
You're
off here.
amazing. Good
But
night. Good
thank you
night.
so much. Thank you, Nick. Hey, Jeff. See you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And Alex, I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Awesome. Later.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good day. Have a good night.